British Columbians are the most loyal wine drinkers on the planet, right?
You consume a bit.
People drink when they're sad, they drink when they're happy. It's a win-win.
I like it.
There we go. Let's see. That's refreshing.
Welcome to the land of whiskey making.
Fraser Focus, a fresh perspective beyond the bridge.
Hey guys, welcome to Fraser Focus, bringing you stories in the South Fraser and Fraser Valley areas. This week's theme is beer and wine. I'm Leah Bolton.
And I'm Dean Atwell. Now with the summer season in full effect, people are looking for that perfect beer for their barbecue or perhaps that wonderful wine during wedding festivities.
To start off the show today, we visit a local winery that has won categories in bronze, silver, and gold winemaking. Let's check it out.
Pinot Noir and Merlot blend. The color is the result of about 24 hours of the juice and the skins being in contact with each other. So essentially it is a red wine.
Plants do get better every year. They're like
losing less.
They're like children. They hit their teens and then they hit maturity, right, and then they go, okay, that's enough, and they start to decline in production.
So they're wiser, but not as fertile.
Well, no, I think they just don't produce as much.
Yeah.
All of our reds are full-bodied dry reds. We do barrel age all of our reds. Our Nosy Neighbor red is considered a medium-bodied red. That one sees about 3 months in the oak. The rest of our reds about 8 to 15 months.
When people think of BC wines, typically they're going to think of Kelowna, the Okanagan, for award-winning wines. And yet you've done it here.
We are specifically challenged here, and by that I mean we grow wine for specific things, right? Now if you're asking us to do the same things as the Okanagan, with the exception of this year, to date not going to happen, right? We can't grow Cabernet here, but we grow fantastic bubble.
And is that because of the climate and the soil, or?
Climate mostly, right? We just don't get the same heat units that they would, say, in Osoyoos or Oliver.
When people think of vineyards, they're not thinking here in Langley, they're not thinking Surrey, they're not thinking Ladner, but there's quite a few.
People's perceptions, I think, are slowly changing. British Columbians are the most loyal wine drinkers on the planet, right?
You consume a bit.
Right, if you ask people in Ontario if they wish they had the same environment that we do here, they would scream up and down, yeah, for sure, right? But if people's perceptions are such that they believe that the Okanagan is where you have to be in order to grow grapes and make wine, it's just taking a little bit longer to change that perception, and we are doing that daily, right?
So I had to gun him down, had to put him in the ground.
I don't see any grapes on here.
Those are grapes you're looking at.
They are? Can you show me? Because I can't see a single grape. Where are they? I'm looking over here as we're oh, okay. Okay, they're just tiny though.
Well, we're only in July. There's little stamen on the plant here, and this cluster has been fully fertilized and will become a grape cluster on or about October.
October, so that's kind of the season is,
September to November, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
And then when people come through and they kind of, because you guys do a lot of tours.
Yeah, no, we do them daily.
The Merlot, the Cab Sauv, the Cab Franc, all our red wines would be in here. The white wines, on the other hand, would be straight into that room down there.
How come red ones are in here and white wines are in the other place?
This is the white wines.
Wines are chilled. The white wine.
Even when you're making them, they
Yes.
And here we go.
Oh, cheers to that.
Cheers.
Oh, that's a big glass. You don't need to keep pouring. That one's
I want to cover that.
I think we're going to leave you here today, Leah. First thoughts, Leah? How's that GoPro tasting in there?
I've never never tried a glass with a camera in it before. It's interesting.
big, is it?
Ooh, Blanc de Noir. I could be here all day, Dean.
Well, I think we'll have to leave you here. In the meantime, we'll take a short break here on Fraser Focus, and when we return, we'll be visiting with a local craft winery to see how they do things a little different.
We'll be right back.
All they have to really do is come in, order their wine. They have to sprinkle the yeast, and then they leave. We do everything else.
Hey guys, welcome back to Fraser Focus, bringing you stories from beyond the bridge, local faces and local places. This week's theme is beer and wine.
Now, earlier on, we visited with a Fraser Valley vineyard. Right now, we're in Abbotsford to learn a little bit more about craft winemaking.
Woohoo.
Cheers.
Cheers, everyone.
Yeah. That's good.
Let's go make some wine.
Yeah, let's do that.
People drink when they're sad, they drink when they're happy, it's a win-win. This is the first step. So if you just bought a kit, you would come in and I'm gonna get it ready. Very seldom keep product on the shelf just because of, you just don't know how long it's gonna sit. 2 orders a week, just because in the warehouse the turnover is so high, you know that your product's gonna be fresh instead of sitting here maybe, you know.
Help me out here, help me out. We can do this.
Get your thumb in
Where's
there.
the thumb? Where's the, oh, there we go.
Okay, there we go. So now just start stirring.
Okay.
This is where it all starts. You get to put the, did you put the yeast in yet?
Nope. This one is my wine, and it's an Amarone. It's my favorite.
That one, okay, that's your bucket there.
Have a look in there.
Oh, wow.
So that's grape skins in the bags.
Okay.
And then all the other little, those are raisins.
Okay.
There's oak in there. So you can play around with it. Like
I want a wine that's carrot and asparagus.
Gluten-free as well. In fact, how is wine for gluten? Do we know?
There's no gluten in there.
No,
It's gluten-free.
If it was beer,
yeah, you have to
different
drink
story.
some.
But wine is gluten-free. I did not know that. It's good to know.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
So when you sprinkle, don't just dump it all in.
Oh, okay, so
Just
what's
kind
my
of like
plan? Camera on one hand.
You can just.
Sound effects. Make it better.
And there goes a whole package.
Yeah, no, in the wine, not on the. There we go.
And legally, this is the part where the consumer would actually have to play a
Yeah.
role. What is that? Why is that?
This is when it becomes alcohol, apparently. We have to abide by the liquor laws, right? So
That's it. That's going to sit on the floor for
a
how
week,
many? Nice.
then we rack it down. It's sat here for 2 weeks.
Okay.
Now we rack it down from plastic into a glass
Yes.
carboy.
We actually source all of our wine and all of our juice from some of the world's biggest vineyards. Obviously, the product that you are buying in the liquor store, a lot of that juice is actually the same juice as what you are making here, but at a fraction of the cost.
Okay, this funky thing here. What are we doing?
It's a filter.
Okay.
And it's got 6 filters, and one
Yeah.
goes through there and then filters all the sediment and ends up in the carboy.
There it is, Dee.
Nice. What are you doing here, Rob?
Just cleaning the top off.
It's quite a cool contraption. You got the giant pipe cleaners here.
Pipe cleaners. I got a couple myself. Oh, there we go. Next one is up.
Next one's up. And then we just put this on the final shelf.
So, Dean, that was for you, and I'll take the next one.
Perfect. Done and done. I'm taking that home. But make sure we drink responsibly, like today.
It does save time, and it definitely does save money. And the quality of wine that you are able to make here is the same as what it would be on the commercial end, except not paying that higher price point.
I've been in construction for 38 years, so I'm looking at semi-retirement. So this is a good retirement job. We like wine. We didn't like spending the money at the liquor store, so we started bottling here.
What I'm doing is I'm corking it,
Okay.
and you just put a cork in here and
Oh, that's cool.
push down the lever, and there it is. It's already corked. And then it goes over here to be labeled.
takes about 15-20 minutes to do a whole batch of 30 bottles. So it's not too time consuming. And it's fun if you're having a sip of your wine while you're doing it.
It's easier to work when you've got a glass of wine in your hand.
I like it.
All they have to really do is come in, order their wine, pay for it. They have to sprinkle the yeast, and then they leave. We do everything else. They come back to bottle it.
You're actually labeling the wine that you brewed here, but could you put your own customized personal labels on?
Yes, you can. We do a lot of wedding wine, and they make their own labels.
Cabernet Bolton, what do you think?
Yeah.
Oh boy, where's the seam? This looks a lot easier when you do it.
There's a line there, yeah.
Oh wait,
there you
was
go.
that too low? Is
No,
that
that's
okay?
perfect.
Okay, it
looks good.
Pretty good.
Yeah, not
okay.
bad.
Now I
you
just
wanna
have
heat
to
that in
melt
there.
this. Do I just twist it in there?
I just push it in.
Couple of seconds.
Okay, there we go. I didn't quite make it all the way, that's the problem.
Sandra and Ed are really great. They're actually always willing to try new varietals, which I think is one of the most exciting things that you can do. I think everybody knows their Cabernet Sauvignons, everybody knows what a Merlot is, but it's really up to the owner and also the consumer as well to have an open mind as to different wines that are out there, because there is some fabulous products.
What is it? Oh, Sauvignon Blanc.
CCWS. It's a Spanish
Classic wine series, yeah.
It's which one? It's a Sauv Blanc. You can just sign right down there, please.
Thank you.
There you go, now you're all set.
Yeah.
So I order it, and she comes and does the yeast, and then 6 weeks later she gets this beautiful one.
Well, this one's locked and loaded, Leah.
There you have it. This is the very last step to winemaking. More in the industry when we come back in a moment.
Stay tuned, you're watching Fraser Focus. Oh my God, that's my heaven right there. Those are all full of beer. Drink responsibly. The Fraser region's craft beer industry is hopping. Market share for this artisanal beer has doubled over the last 4 years.
BC Craft Brewers Guild reports growth from 9% in 2009 up to 19% presently. Check this out.
It'll never go back to the Molson and Labatt's era again, ever. Like right now, the customer has the expectation of variety, and before there wasn't any variety. It was all yellow beer.
There we go. Let's see. Oh, that's refreshing. I tried this cider, Dean. I took a sniff of the cider. Smells great.
You got to try the Thor's Ale, apparently. Thor's Hammer.
Thor's Hammer.
Thor's Hammer's the one.
It's where the magic happens.
Yeah.
Welcome to the land of whiskey making. This is the brew house. This is the engine of the brewery. This is where we make the wort, which is malt barley extract, and then we send it to a fermenter and mix it with yeast for fermentation. So whether it be like a lager, which is very light in color using light malts, or whether it be a pale ale using some amber malts, or whether it be like a stout. So it looks like they've finished. This grain is now, it's called spent grain. I'm just going to open it, hang on. This is the mash tun. This is the beginning of the process. And so this vessel is where we mix the barley with warm water to make an extract. But there's a process, there's an enzymatic reaction that takes place like in this mash tun, which turns the starch and complex carbohydrates to soluble sugars. After that, we move it to this vessel called the lauter tun. And the lauter tun, what it does is very akin to a drip coffee maker basket where the solids stay back, but the extract of the barley comes out. Fermentation cellar.
Oh my God, that's my heaven right there. Those are all full of beer. Drink responsibly, but those are all full of beer. So these are all your beers that you've got going on?
Yeah, so these tanks are 20,000 liter tanks. And as you can see, the ones there where the cone is a little taller, the man weighs higher, those are 30,000 liter tanks.
That's a lot of beer. So how many beers do you have here? Like, I'm seeing
we make a lot of beers.
hundreds.
There's probably like 10 or 12 different beers that we're fermenting. That's why there's so many tanks, right? Because we're making so many different beers, and you got to keep those beers going. But this is part of the art of craft beer as well. There you go.
So that is malt barley, and quite tasty. So what made you pick Surrey? Why the Fraser Valley? Why did you pick here?
Well, I think we originally started as a brew pub, right, 2003, and that was with the new tower that went in. Yeah. And when we originally planned, the pub itself was never intended to produce beyond the pub, but Gary's beer was so popular that we just kept expanding, and we hit a point where we couldn't keep up, and we knew we needed to build a brewery, and instead of building a small one or an incremental growth,
Go big or go home?
That's right.
Whoa. Oh, it's nice and chill in here.
Smell in here, though.
Ooh.
This is all going to be whiskey.
Oh my gosh, that's whiskey?
It's going to be whiskey. Yeah,
I'm getting drunk looking at this stack.
It has to be in wood for a minimum of 3 years.
Whoa.
Smell it in here, right?
Oh, look at this. I'd love to be a monkey in a barrel in here, Leah.
Honestly?
A monkey in a barrel here, me, every day. What have you got coming on in the future? Whiskey, vodka?
Yeah.
You've got it all.
Well, we're getting into cider, right? So we've launched cider now.
You like cider?
Yeah.
You're a
I
cider
do.
fan?
I snuck a sip outside.
Did
that.
you?
Yeah, I can't remember what it was called, but it had a really refreshing taste because I really.
Hopping Mad.
Yes.
Hopping Mad. I love the names they come up with. How do you decide these names?
That was, well, we just got lucky on that.
I noticed with the cannings as well. You've got the name here is Red Racer.
Yeah.
But there's the Canadian name for this beer is Red Betty. What's that all about?
Well, opposite. So
is it opposite? It's Red Racer here and Red Betty down there.
Exactly.
So the names are different in the States for the beer than they are here.
Yeah.
Why?
A little lawsuit.
Oh no! Are you serious?
Yeah. I mean, let's just put it this way. We got into a trademark dispute. We got outspent, and so we decided, it's not worth. There's some Red Betty cans right there as it's driving by. We want to focus on making and selling beer and not being in disputes.
Hey Dean, I'm up here. Check out all the whiskey.
That is a lot of alcohol. We'll be right back here on Fraser Focus. The theme this week is beer and wine. Keep watching. This is the Fraser Valley's biggest beer fridge. You're not going to believe this. Look at all that beer.
Welcome back to Fraser Focus, bringing you stories from beyond the bridge. This week's theme is beer and wine, as you can tell.
And we're here in the Central Brewery manufacturing facility, about to learn a bit more about craft beer.
This is a packaging lab where we test our samples.
Uh-oh, that one's no good.
So this is where all the sampling is going to be happening.
Yeah.
But you're not actually trying it.
Part of the job is actually tasting all of the beers. So we gotta know the product and make sure that it is always tasting the way it should.
The best job in the world.
Let's go watch it build a pallet of beer.
Well, I just kind of work my magic. I give my vision on the machine, and if I see something funky, then, I'll try to fix it, and if I can't, then, well, I gotta get the wizard, our millwright.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So what are we missing? If some of the cans don't go in the right spots, or what?
Sometimes the boxes, as you see down here, cans don't go in, so I kind of got my little secret.
So you check this part, and then what else do you check?
Well, I usually just work around here because I get a nice see of everything, but I'll check the high cone, the six-packer.
Okay, let's check that. We better make sure everything's working okay, right, Dean? Oh, that's cool. That's a can?
This is probably one of the most expensive parts of the can, yeah.
The lid?
Yeah, the lid's the most expensive
Keeps all the precious materials inside.
Dean, no stealing off the line.
It's spitting it out towards me. I can't help myself. What am I going to do?
You gotta watch out. He's gonna mess up the whole system here.
It's like it wants to give me beer. It just keeps coming over. Are these rejected cans here? Is that...
Rejected cans.
Why are they rejected? See, they're rejected, so I mean, what are you going to do? Okay, so this is the Fraser Valley's biggest beer fridge. You're not going to believe this. Whoa! Look at all that beer.
It seems fantastic. I mean, we have a fantastic climate for growing hops, which is really where you see all the variety and versatility and styles of beer, as well as fantastic water. We have very soft water. You can make all kinds of different styles of awesome beer. And I'd say it's pretty similar to things like Portland, anywhere in the Cascadia area, Portland, San Diego, stuff like that on the West Coast.
I think just to see the different way in which the whole process is automated, and the way it just
makes itself, right?
Makes itself.
I love that.
It's great.
We were just talking about the beer comparisons in the UK, and you're mentioning that they're more like lager over here, but these ones here, and lager in Canada, but the ones here are a bit more comparable to the ales back home from Wales.
There's no, set demographic of, certain type of person that likes craft beer. All kinds of people appreciate craft beer, and we're seeing a lot of growth in Langley, in Surrey, for the sales of craft beer, for sure.
What's the next step?
Next step? Well, we got to fill this building first. So when we fill this building and I can sell enough beer to actually get this place full, then we'll be in a good place. And from there, we'll figure it out.
There's so much going on right here.
Yeah,
There's so much going on in the Fraser region.
Yeah.
Well, we love that you set up shop right here.
Well,
and the 2 acres next door.
Yeah.
Cheers, gentlemen.
Cheers.
Wow, this Thor's Hammer, a thunderous ale, if ever there was one.
And that brings us to the end of this episode of Fraser Focus, bringing you stories from beyond the bridge, a brand new theme every week.
Now, if you have a story that you'd like us to share, don't be shy, drop us a line. I'm Dean Atwell.
And I'm Leah Bolton. Thanks for watching.